Wow, it has felt like a long time since I've done a full episode of Technoid. It's been a while since I've even done an episode behind a camera. I mean, besides the reviews and shorts, but it's good to be back. It's good to be filming again, guys. I will tell you what's been going on at the end of the video, but before we get to that, let's talk about the news, the thing that happened over the weekend, or at least over the week. Let's talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold and Flip 5 and talk about why, even though they are some great pieces of hardware, they're starting to fall into that trend that smartphones get when they start to feel similar. Alrighty, the first story, the main story of the day, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold and Flip 5. Now, I am going to combine both of them into one. It doesn't pay to try to separate them and to kind of go into too much details. I just kind of want to make this video quick, straight to the point, and talk about it because I was covering these rumors in the past, and I feel it's my obligation to update you guys now that we have the information and just to kind of give my thoughts and overall opinion on it. So the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold and Flip 5 are essentially very similar to the Z Fold 4, but they do bring a few minor upgrades and a few hints at the future of what the foldables are going to be doing. And I gotta tell you, the future is looking very good for the foldables, and they're getting very close. However though, in regards to this particular model, I feel like this was more of not necessarily a huge change. It just felt more like a subtle refresh, but there are a few tricks here and there that I do think are worth talking about. So to start with the Fold 5, the Fold 5 essentially is very similar to the previous generation. It has a 6.2-inch screen, and when you open it up, it is 7.6 inches. It is using a new armored aluminum frame, so it's supposed to give you more durability in the hinge. It is also more flushed, so now it has a new hinge mechanism that I was talking about in my previous episodes. They did change the hinge. They call it a flex hinge, which is now more easier and more durable. And when you close the product for both the Flip and the Fold, they are now officially a solid, nice jointed one piece. So there's no little minimal air gap for dust and other things to get inside of the folding screen. But I've been using the Z Fold 4 for a while and I haven't had that issue. But if you were worried about that or if you had any concerns, well, just know they got you covered there. But everything else after that, in terms of the entertainment aspect, the S Pen, the camera system, they do have a new night photography mode, but essentially the details are all exactly the same. It does, however, carry a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip. However, though, the biggest negative that a lot of people are really hammering in is the battery life. It seems that it has a 4400 milliamp hour battery, and a lot of people are not too impressed with the battery life given the Fold 4, at least its performance. I personally have used the Fold 4 on a daily, and I could tell you guys that the battery life is just about right where I would need it, but I could definitely understand the calls for a bigger battery capacity. So a lot of people are kind of upset about that. But overall, as a piece of hardware, it is a great, I would say great technology. But it does feel very subtle, and it does feel very too similar, I would say. It's not that it's not worth it if you have a Z Fold 4, but I don't see the necessary argument to make an upgrade from a previous generation model. If you have a Z Fold 2 or even a Z Fold 3, then you can kind of start to make an argument that yes, it is giving you more of an upgrade, but if you have the last generation model, you're not going to need it. So I just wanted to put that out there. But overall, it's not a bad piece of hardware, but one that I wouldn't necessarily say I'm gonna go out of my way and get because it's a must-have. However, though, on the flip side, haha, see what I did there? On the flip side, the Z Flip 5 is actually the one with the bigger upgrade, and I think that this one is actually my favorite of the two models. Specifically, now the front screen now has a bigger screen to body, so that means it is now more interactive. You can use it for when you're taking photos or when you're video doing anything, if you want to see like an external screen. Although why you would be making content with a folding phone is beyond me, although I really shouldn't be talking. But anyway, moving on, it is also a more slimmed down version of the Z Fold 4, but it carries those improvements. It does carry the same things as I talked about in the previous notions of the Fold 5. The only difference, again, is that the front screen is more bigger, so you have more room to work with. It is more interactive. You can do more with it, and I think, in my opinion, I think that that this is going to be the one that I would say a lot of people would probably get more than the Fold. Not to say that the Fold won't sell well, I just think that from a general person, if you want a regular traditional smartphone, but you want that added bonus of more features and more useful techniques and things that you could interact with, I think the Flip 5 offers a more, in my opinion, a more real world scenario actual use when you're taking selfies, videos, and that bigger screen helps to give it a more intuitive interaction, and you could do a lot more and customize with the front screen. But again, just like the Fold 5, it is also lacking, again, some reports are saying in the battery life department, although we'll wait and see what reviews are saying. But overall, when it comes to the two devices, I just want to say this and then we'll move on to the watch, because I actually want to talk about the watch for a sec. I think that both models are great. I do think that the Fold and the Flip 5 offer a nice variety of choice for consumers, and I think that the folding market is finally expanded. We've got Google doing it, we got Samsung, and then somewhere in the dark side of the web, apparently OnePlus is now going to start doing that, so cool, I guess. But essentially, we all know who's going to be making their turn in the future. We know it's Big Apple. But before we get to them, I think it's good that the Android side has kind of mapped it out. I'm glad that Android has kind of opened things up. I'm glad that Android foldables are paving the way so that way more people can get their hands on it, and eventually when Apple does make that jump, then everybody's gonna get it. I'm not saying that Apple's gonna do it better. I'm not saying that Android's doing it better. All I'm saying is that the market is expanding. There are people, there is a need, there is a demand that is building. The price still has to be worked on, but what you're getting for the price, I think there is a lot of justifications. But in regards to these two models, I don't really feel like they are worth it to go out and get if you have a Z Fold 4 or a Flip 4. Maybe the Flip 4 for the Flip 5, maybe for the bigger screen, but that's entirely up to you. And lastly, to talk about, while I do think that these phones are great on paper and offer a lot, they're starting to fall into that trend when smartphones start to get too similar to each other. But I would make the argument that if you have an older model, then yes, you could definitely upgrade. But I just want to talk about it, just give my opinion on it. I will go into more details on my live episode. We'll talk more with Sneed and other guests. We can get them on. But anyway, guys, that is it for the Fold and Flip 5. Let me hear your thoughts down below. What do you think of the models?
And now a word from our sponsor.
And the last thing to talk about is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 and 6 Classic. I gotta be honest with you guys. If there is one company that I think can go toe-to-toe with Apple with the Apple Watch, it's Samsung. And the Galaxy Watch 6 is a prime example of that. This thing is a beautiful piece of hardware and is probably one of my favorite smartwatches outside of Apple that can do the job. I had a Galaxy Watch Active 2 and I loved it every moment. Every time I was using it, every time I interacted with it, every time I did anything with my Android, I loved it from start to finish. And now seeing what the Galaxy Watch 6 and 6 Classic are doing, I gotta tell you, they don't have to be the most advanced in hardware, they don't have to be the most advanced, they just have to give you exactly what you need and then let Samsung do the rest. And that's exactly what this thing is. It not only has a larger screen, it has a better screen in my opinion. I love the symmetrical look. I think that that is the best look for a smartwatch. It has new sleeping controls, so now you can actually track your sleep, you can actually do more. Top of that, it has better health monitoring, so it has better heart sensors. It's also got fitness tracking built in, again with the ECG. You get more customization and it has a new band system, but also it is running on Wear OS, so that is a very, very good thing. It's been doing that for a while. But lastly, it comes in at a very, very good price point, even with cellular. I just wanted to take this moment to talk about it because I really think Apple should be paying attention to what Samsung is doing. I'm not saying that Samsung's gonna beat them. I'm not saying that Samsung is better than Apple. I think Apple is miles better in terms of the health system. But when it comes to a competition, I think Samsung is getting closer and closer to catching up to Apple, and Apple should definitely keep their eye on them because Samsung is coming in and they're coming in for the kill, just like Poatan Alex Pereira. They're coming in for the kill. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, before I end this video, I just want to take this moment. I want to take this moment to get a little personal here. I'm gonna cut the music off. Guys, these last few weeks have been some of the hardest and most painful weeks I have ever had to endure since I have been alive. I know things only get harder when you get older, but I don't want to talk about it in details. I don't want to go into what's going on because, again, I do want to keep a little bit of privacy on it. But all I can say to you guys is that if it wasn't for all of you watching, even if it's just one person that watches, if it wasn't for all of my friends and family, if it wasn't for all of you, I wouldn't be standing here today and be doing what I do that I love. And for that, I want to say thank you to all of you. I love each and every one of you. I know I'm getting emotional right now. I'm trying not to, but I just want to take this moment to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Eventually, when I get to the point to talk about it, I will open up a little more. But right now, I just want to keep this private. I just want to keep working on myself and I want to keep growing. And with all of your love and support, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. You know, there's always darkness, and this has been the biggest darkness right now, but I know there will be a light at the end of the tunnel, and I am going to get through this. And with you guys' love and support, I know I will get through it even stronger. So thank you all for watching. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I love all of you. Stay strong, everyone. Keep your heads up, stay safe, and have a great day. Peace.